AM and 96.3 FM, The Source.
All right, it's just about 14 minutes after 10 o'clock. Nice looking, but cold. What is today? Tuesday. And some familiar voices, some familiar friends are in the studio. And the last time I saw them was at the Jingle Ball. I saw both these guys, right? Yes. Josh Verdonk and Brad Boersma and Dan Martone all in the studio right now. And we're going to talk about airplanes. Good morning, guys. How you doing?
Good morning.
Good. How are you?
Hi. How's Josh? How's your mission going? Can I ask you that first?
Good. It's going really well. We've got another about 4 months of what's wrong?
There you go. Now you can talk.
Okay. Sorry. We got another about 4 months of training up in Wisconsin, which we're leaving for on Thursday.
Oh.
So yeah, that'll be fun.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, flying in Wisconsin is completely different than flying down here. Basically, our cutoff temperature is 5 degrees Fahrenheit. Below that, we won't fly.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Does it do something to the fuel?
Not to the fuel, but it's hard on the engine. Basically, as soon as you pull power off, you're shock cooling the engine, which can crack cylinders and stuff like that.
Oh, wow. So does that affect the passenger jets that we ride in?
Nah.
No. Just the little planes, right?
Yeah, mainly just the little airplanes.
All right. And
What?
were you going to go flying today? Did I hear you say, Dan?
No, not today.
Oh, okay.
Not today. It's cold.
Yes, it is.
It's cold.
But this plane's today. I mean, it's
today they can fly.
only
Yeah.
30
people
degrees
flying.
today.
You guys are a bunch
yeah.
of wimps.
Is there a
We got
heater?
people flying.
Is there a heater in an airplane?
Oh yeah.
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 Oh yeah.
Okay.
It works well. It comes
just-
right off the engine.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's like a car. That's what happens in a car, right?
Yeah, sort
Yeah,
of.
same
Yeah.
system.
So what's new with Ocala Aviation? Anything new over there?
Well, I just realized how much I missed Josh saying basically, because I counted it was like 3 times.
Basically, yes.
Yes. It's just one of those things I don't realize until he starts talking again.
I miss doing the show. It was a fun segment. And,
Yes.
it left a void when you guys left.
Yes. It left a void in us too. Yes. That's why we had to come back and do one before Josh left.
Yeah, I expect more people to be outside. By the way, I love the new studio.
Well, thank you.
Oh, the studio's amazing.
Yeah. It doesn't have that funny smell that the old one did.
No. And it's got a much better view. I mean,
That's right.
We didn't like the smell. That was bad.
It was.
it didn't smell.
Other cats liked it.
I was exactly.
Didn't smell bad. It just smelled.
It smelled.
Period.
That's the issue.
Yeah,
Just smell.
Yes.
Yeah.
I guess dogs liked it too. I don't know.
Yes. It's very nice here.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's brighter too.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a lot brighter.
I almost feel like I need to wear sunglasses.
Sometimes you do. Sometimes you do. Depends on the time of the year.
Well, I expect more people to be walking by and things.
Well, it's still early, and it's cold.
When you fly on a cold day, it's colder up there, right?
Yes.
Are you actually seeing snow when we're not seeing snow? Like, could you see snow like at 3,000 feet right now, but we wouldn't see it down here?
Not today because it's clear out.
No clouds.
Okay, but
Yeah, and you won't see it over Florida. 'Cause it doesn't get that cold.
Yes, it does.
It's
Well, it
cold
does,
enough right
but-
now, isn't it?
I've seen snow in Florida,
I have too.
not in an airplane. I've seen it down here.
Okay.
In
Yes.
Ocala?
Yes.
Yeah.
A couple
Yeah.
years ago. My
How
daughter
many
made a
years
mini
ago?
snowman. It was like that big.
When?
You
How
can't
many
see it on the
years
radio.
ago?
Huh?
How many years ago?
Maybe
Maybe
3
at least
years ago?
4. 3? No, I've been here
4.
3.
Show us again on the radio how big that.
I did. It was about that big.
No, okay, I know this is way before everybody, so it makes me seem old. But 1976, I remember it was snowing like a blizzard out there for a little while.
Oh, really?
Didn't stick, but I remember it. Yeah.
Well, if you looked on the projections last night, it had chance of snow, not chance of rain.
Did it really?
It said chance of snow last night. Yes.
Huh.
All the clouds went away, so we just didn't get any.
Yeah.
So did you have a lot of people getting the Discovery flight as a gift for Christmas?
We had quite a few.
Yeah, good,
It's
good.
one of those, it goes in cycles. Some years we get a ton, and some years we don't get any. I think it's one of those people forget about it, and then they go, "Oh yeah, I can do that."
It is fun, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So not as good as when we were doing the radio station all the time, and Dan was there to help us. It was a little slower after that, but
Yeah.
Well, you'll be back. They're going to be back. We're working the schedule. So
yeah.
it's,
No, I'm just kidding. No, it was good. It's a good gift, and people have really enjoyed it. And we've been very busy at the airport, so
So do you change the tradition of dumping water on somebody's head if it's this
No.
cold outside? No?
no.
No, they
What?
can suffer.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Remind me to
we'll
make sure my
throw-
next check ride is in the summer.
Make
We'll
sure you
throw
do
an
it.
ice block at them if we need to.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
Well, you have stages of check rides. So now that I know that, I'm going to make sure my next one's in the middle of summer.
Do you want
I
to
don't
take
think
questions?
he'll be done by summer, do you?
No.
No. What's
Took
that?
him
Do you want to
Here.
take callers? You want to take
We'll
questions?
take anybody
Take
that
a
wants
call.
to call.
So let's make an invite out there. If you want to call Josh and Brad, if you remember the show that they did you did it for a couple of years, right? At
Yeah.
least. Yeah.
Was it a couple of years? I thought it was just like a year.
It was a while. It was a while.
Maybe
It was
one
a
year.
while.
Maybe 1
Yeah,
year.
it was a good time.
Apparently, to him, it seemed like forever.
Apparently.
622-9622 is the phone number if you want to call Josh and Brad and say, hi, how you doing? And
Well, it's a good time to bring out all the delays. Why the delays are, what is the point in waiting in an airport for 10 hours or 3 days in some cases when you can fly your own airplane?
Well, if you were up north, you wouldn't be doing it anyway.
Yeah.
Yes, but if you're down
That's a good
here
thought.
waiting on a flight that you know is not really going to get interrupted if you had your own airplane, and it's just because they're being and in their defense, they have to be a little more cautious. They have a lot of people flying on that plane.
Yeah.
Well, the other issue is too is like my mom just flew from here to California last. I don't know. It was a couple days ago, but and she was delayed over her entire thing over 9 hours, and she never went north. She went from here
Yep.
to Vegas, and because the flight that was supposed to take her to Vegas got canceled because it was coming
right.
from up north, so she ended up having to go from here to San Antonio to Vegas to California.
Yeah.
But had nothing to do with weather here or in California.
Because that's a whole system, and you're part of the system. You have to go with the flow. Whereas if you have your own plane, or at least your own pilot's license, you don't have to do that. You can make your own rules. You can set your own days.
do you have to deal with TSA?
No.
Not at all.
Nope. You don't have to go through the lines. You don't have to do any of that.
Yeah. The problem is then at what point does it become uneconomic to do that?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a certain amount, where it's more economic to fly than it is to either drive or fly the airlines. But at a certain point, the airlines become more cost effective to you. For example, a flight out to Las Vegas would be cheaper on an airline, even if you have to wait 9 hours.
So it's about convenience. Part of it's about convenience. Part of it's about the freedom. I do it for the freedom.
Okay, I want to ask you about drones. We had a lady who wrote a book, okay, and she was out in Southern California. And the topic of drones came up. She wrote a book about flying. It had nothing to do with drones. But we asked her, she was getting ready to go flying. So after the interview, she was going to go flying. And we asked, well, what's it like? What are you going to see? She said, well, I hope I don't see too many drones. There's so many of them nowadays. She was in Southern California. Are you seeing that too? Do we have a lot of drones around here?
No.
I haven't seen any here. I know that out in the West United States, especially the Southwest United States, they're doing a lot more drone training for the military because they've got all the desert out there, and they're using that more as a training grounds to teach, the drone pilots what to do and everything like that. So I haven't heard of anything.
Yeah, it's not that
down
they're
here
doing
in
that much more
Florida.
surveillance. It's training.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
So was the Amazon announcement about using drones to deliver packages a publicity stunt, or are we really going to see that in 2015?
I
Well-
seriously doubt it because honestly, think about it. It's a skeet shooting competition with prizes
That's pretty good.
That is true.
because I know that
Oh!
I wouldn't be exactly. I wouldn't be the only one tempted to go out there with a 12 gauge and see, that's about the size of a laptop computer, or that's about the size of a,
Oh yeah, you get a new big screen.
Well, it's
shoot
limited
big
to 5 pounds, according to the
You
article.
do know that they're going to come for you, right?
Well, 5 pounds. Those are new iPhones. I mean, think about how many new cell
that's
phones
true.
you could have.
That's true, yeah.
exactly.
It's like 10 new iPhones.
No, I
Well, it's
I
5
think it's
pounds, and I think it was a 10-mile radius or something, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
10 miles.
25-mile radius.
I
So it's
think
not really that
it's-
practical.
I think it's a more of a publicity stunt. I don't think they'll be able to do it
Well, here's the thing, though. If they're going to use that, why don't they just use real pilots?
because then they have to pay the
Because-
pilots.
Yeah, but
Okay,
you can carry a lot more than 5 pounds. Look
Okay.
how many presents you can drop out of the
because
plane.
then you have to do licensing and all that. A drone is a remote control. There's a lot less requirements and regulations to go through.
I still
true.
think it's going to be a skeet shooting
toy.
competition with prizes.
Yeah. Well, then too, how do you make sure it gets delivered? Is it a little parachute that drops it out? Like
I was curious about that, too. What'd they say?
Oh, you didn't see it?
No.
You didn't see the demonstration? It landed right in the front yard, let it go, and it flew back home.
so it just leaves it in the front.
Oh, it lands. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I
it's
thought
just
it
any
dropped it.
random person can walk by and pick it up.
Does he have
Yeah.
to sign
You don't
for
even
it?
need to shoot it. You can just follow it.
Same as now, though. A UPS guy drops a package off on your front step.
Literally, yeah.
What if you just keep the drone, though, and reprogram it? Then you can have your own.
Got to be quick. Run out there and grab it.
Yeah. Run out and
I
grab
don't
the
think that'd
drone.
be worth it, though.
I don't know. Are they expensive?
See, they're coming after you now, too. You guys keep talking about stealing. I mean, is that really
Well,
what we want our
no,
direction
no.
we want our show to go to?
Josh is going to shoot him down. I'm just taking
You know,
him.
I didn't say that I was going to shoot him down. Hey, we know him. What's up?
Okay.
that's
You
cool.
said you were going to shoot him down. That's what you said. Your shotgun.
Okay, yeah.
It's not a shot
Was Joe
put.
there when you guys went?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Just go ahead.
I didn't say that I was going to. I just think it's going to become a skeet shooting competition with prizes. I didn't say I was going to go shoot them.
And the newest thing was that the balloons in Macy's parade were going to be replaced with things that were held by drones rather than held by helium and guys with ropes.
Yeah, that would be very bad. Just think about if one of those malfunctioned.
Yeah, and I don't see that as cost effective either.
Yeah.
I think it's cheaper to just fill them up with helium.
Because the other people like walk and are volunteers. They don't get paid to carry those or to walk with
Yeah.
those balloons. I mean,
You would
yeah.
think, right?
Oh no, they are. They're volunteers.
But well, yeah.
But you think about if one of those drones
Volunteer drone.
carrying a giant balloon went out of control.
It wouldn't be a balloon because it'd be upside
So it's
down.
filled with
Okay, it'd be a giant thing.
Just a giant stuffed animal or
Yeah.
something.
Let's fill with air still.
yeah.
All right, let's go back to the phone. Good morning. You're on there with Josh and Brad and Dan.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Nice to hear you guys on the radio again. Say, to begin with, you were talking about a big difference between Wisconsin and Florida as far as small aircraft. Other than the extreme cold up there. Hello?
We're here. We can hear you.
Are you there, Hugh?
Uh-oh.
Oh, he dropped off. We
I
didn't
think
drop
Hugh
him.
had some cell phone issues.
Something happened to him.
Yeah, we could hear him, though.
Yeah, we heard him pretty good.
Okay. Well, what?
Hold on, he's calling back.
Oh, okay.
I
All
think it's him. Good
I
morning.
think this is a Josh question.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, there you are. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I got disconnected. Say, it's nice to hear these guys back on the radio. I would hope that program would come back sometime because it was really a very good one.
Thank you.
The question I had is that earlier you were talking about how the difference between Wisconsin and Florida as far as small aircraft, other than the fact that it gets a heck of a lot colder up there on the ground level. What else would be a difference?
Well, a big difference is that we actually keep all of our aircraft, especially during the winter months, indoors, and keep engine heaters on them. So they're plugged in to keep that oil nice and warm, to keep that viscosity level pretty high, so that the oil you can turn the engines over and everything like that. Another big difference is that anytime you get into visible moisture, being rain, fog, snow, anything like that, it can very quickly turn into ice. Like on days when it's raining or snowing and the temperature's below, freezing, we get up into the traffic pattern, you have ice building up on the wing, so that's definitely a situation you want to try to avoid.
Yeah, would you see there's probably more because of population naturally, but would there be more smaller aircraft down here than up there?
Yeah, Florida is actually by state the busiest airspace in the United States. By state.
Really?
Obviously, there's places that are more busy, like Chicago, Atlanta. But as a state as a whole, Florida is the busiest, and a lot of that is actually flight training because we have so many good flyable days per year.
For general aviation.
Yeah.
Okay, well, nice talking to you guys. You have a good year, and I hope you get your radio station back sometime. It was fun listening to you.
Thank you very
Appreciate
much.
it. And you guys have another phone call. Good morning. You're on the air.
I'm sorry, wrong number.
Okay.
That's
How does
Pizza
that
Hut. No.
happen?
That happens sometimes.
They were getting pizza.
There.
We're going to order a
You
pizza.
can order with us.
Yeah. I'll
Okay.
deliver, too.
Is there any way to turn
Pepperoni?
the volume up in these?
It should be
Yeah.
where if it's attached with the thing it's attached to, it should have a knob on
There
it.
you go. Turn that to the right, Brad.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate that.
Okay. Can you hear us now, Josh?
Yeah,
Can you hear me now?
hear me?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, the other day, Dan and Rob and I were looking at the insides of a Learjet, right, on the
Yeah.
screen here. That looks like a lot of stuff. You have to pay attention. I mean, it looks like a lot in the little planes you guys fly. To me, a lot more than a car has. But
It
how
is.
do you keep up with all that stuff, all those knobs and
Training.
everything? Wow. That's
Well, and that thing is when you first get into a small plane, one of our Cessnas, the first time you step into it, it looks like
Overwhelming.
Intimidating.
Yes, weakly
Yeah.
overwhelming.
It
so
is.
each step you take, you learn more and more. So it's not as intimidating as you work your way up.
Exactly.
Yeah, and we can ask Dan about that. Dan did his private with us when you first got into the airplane. First lesson, what was that with me or with?
Yeah.
First lesson with me. I'm pointing out things to you in the cockpit. I'm sure your reaction was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm never going to remember anything."
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it was. It was okay. Sure. Yeah, you keep talking because none of this is sticking. But eventually, it does. It starts to stick, and it becomes more familiar. Just like your car, just like your gas gauge and your temperature gauge and your speedometer in your car. You
guess, yeah.
start to become familiar with it.
So when people have different learning the different ways of learning. Some people are better at books. Some people are better at videos.
Mm-hmm.
Does that all play a role in your role as teacher? I mean, you have to kind of figure out who's better with books, who's better with just sitting with a teacher and all that?
A good instructor will, yes. And sometimes we come across instructors that aren't so good at picking up how the student learns, but a good instructor will always figure out, what's the best way the student learn. For Dan, for example, I never figured out how he learned. No, actually, Dan was a very good student, more of a hands-on type learner than book learner. Would you agree?
Oh, definitely.
So-
Definitely. Yeah, I need to have the feel and the control of it.
Yeah.
And because books are great for some people, but for me, it reinforces what I have to already feel.
And the thing is, the way we do our training, it's not, okay, this is the only way we do it. We're able to work around what each student needs. And, unfortunately, they have to go through books. They have to do certain types of training, to get through the written. But if a student needs more one-on-one ground time with an instructor, then that's what we do. It's going to be tailored to each student. But even with us, like we have the videos that we use, the interactive DVDs. And on those interactive DVDs, the nice thing about it is that you're watching the computer and the person's sitting there talking, so you're hearing it. But then behind them, it's got the words. So you actually are reading
So
it.
you're kind of doing both at
So
the same
you're
time.
hearing it, you're seeing it, and you're reading it all at the same time.
Yeah, they're usually demonstrating what they're doing too with graphics. Which is
Exactly. So you can actually get all three different learning methods from the same video, which is very, very helpful because it helps for the different types of people that are learning. But it also comes with a book that is the exact same wording as the videos. Even the same dumb jokes are in the book.
nice. They are, actually.
So,
Really?
I mean, literally. And so, some people are like, well, I'd rather read it. Okay, well, do the videos and read it. That's fine. And that way they can
Some
get
people
everything
would
out
rather
of it.
read it. Yeah, that's true. Some people prefer to read it. And with the written test, there's kind of no way around it. You have to know some
Yeah,
of the
exactly.
written material.
Oh
right?
yeah, quite a bit of it actually.
Yeah, so you can't get
But you
around
could
that.
ace the written test and be terrible actually at flying.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
right?
I've had some people
Or
who-
the opposite.
Yeah, I've had some people who had 97, 98 on the written and couldn't fly the airplane, after flying with them, 50, 60 hours, couldn't fly the airplane. Just they
Really?
don't
Just
have
never
that
got it.
That fine motor control, hand-eye coordination. I tell them to go play ping pong usually. No,
They can fly drones.
They say ping pong is a very, very good hand-eye coordination exercise. I don't actually tell them to do that though.
You think it, though.
I think it, yeah. But there's also been people.
But it might be good advice.
Yeah, well, there's been people who like barely scratch past their written, and they do excellent on the flying. So
Yeah. I want to say that the written doesn't tell you exactly how well a student's going to do. Either way, whether they score good or bad, because some people have, testing anxiety. They know the information, but you sit them down in front of a computer and they just lose their mind.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those, you get the student through it,
Yeah.
one way or the other. And then you focus on whatever their weaknesses and strengths are.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Well, it was good to have you back in the studio. It was still brief. I'm glad we got to see you at the
Yeah.
Jingle Ball. You're looking for a
well,
clock?
he started.
there it is.
He started us 4 minutes late too.
I know. He did. He's always did that to us.
No, that was a paid little thing we had to do.
So Dan lied
So
to
Dan
us.
lied to us.
Dan always lies to you. I can't help
Well, maybe
that.
Dan didn't know.
Yeah.
You don't know about your own radio station, Dan?
I don't know nothing.
He doesn't,
Okay.
doesn't know the whole
I
schedule.
thought you were the CEO.
I don't know nothing. I know nothing.
I wish we had the music that we used to use. I can't find it. I don't know where it is.
We'll find it again. We'll get a schedule.
It's
back.
in
We'll
there.
Get these guys back in.
Yeah.
Or at least one of them.
Yeah, when are you coming back, by the way, Josh?
We're not sure.
That's
Well, thank you for that definitive answer.
That'll be probably either August or November.
So you got to pick your placement. It's
hold-
either Kevin, David, or Martin.
It's gonna be Kevin.
All right.
You really think that Kevin can do it?
Well, he doesn't talk a whole lot, but
But he's a body.
what you need to do is get Sebastian in here.
That would be interesting.
That'd be great.
That'd be
You got a
fun.
beeper a beeper buzzer?
Yeah, he swears a lot.
Oh, okay.
In a negative
Gotcha.
way.
I gotcha.
He's- I mean-
it's quite hilarious.
So
actually.
Yes, not that I can say that there's no negative. I mean, he doesn't like just in an anger type of way. He just,
He's a sailor.
Well, he's just learned English in the last year
Couple
and a half,
years.
2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So whenever he's, it's quite amusing when he, attempts to use profanity.
Yeah, it doesn't come out right. So that's what we mean by it's funny.
And on that note, we're out of here, guys.
Well, thank you. That was fun. That was fun.
Thank you
It was
very
always
much.
fun when you guys did these shows.
Thanks,
So
guys.
I'm
Thank
with
you for
the
having us.
listeners. I want to hear some more of these.
We'll bring them back.
Josh, you take care in your mission.
Thank you very much.
Stay warm in Wisconsin and everything you do. All right, we'll take a break. We'll be right back with Joe Reichel and Damage Control.
We're listening to WOCA News Talk 1370, Ocala's source for what's happening in today's hottest, up-to-date news and topics.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.